Hey there, it's Brian Therrien from the Disability Digest, and today I'm going to talk to you about what to prove to get approved, or what to prove to keep your Social Security disability benefits. There's two ways to look at it depending on where you're at in the process. So then I'm going to give you some examples of jobs that you have to demonstrate that you cannot do, and there's a slight difference in age. For certain age categories it's different. I'm going to cover that with you. Then I'll direct you to some next steps so that you can learn more about how to get your disability benefits approved at the end. So that's what I have on tap right here. So first of all, I think the very first thing is you need to get your mind set that you are going to go forward and apply for your disability benefits. You're going to commit your time, effort, and energy into going through the process. Even if you're going to hire somebody to help you, there's still work that you need to do. So first of all, that's it, because unless you put in the work, or it's going to be hard to get approved. I can tell you whatever you want, but if you don't get the forms done on time, you don't do it accurately, all those steps, I don't see it working for you. So that's first as a mindset. The single most important thing that you need to understand with Social Security is what the definition of disabled is. It's a harsh word. I don't like to use it. When I write different email and phrases, I use different terms, and it's just because I think it's been given a stigma that people have a difficult time associating with. But for Social Security, it's straight up term disabled. And what disabled means, and I'm referencing my notes here, in plain English, is that you cannot perform any work because of serious medical conditions, right? You can't work. And what they look at for the criteria is this phrase called substantial gainful activity, or SGA. And what the SGA is, it means that you cannot do competitive work that generates more than the allowed amount per month. Now, that activity, that SGA, could also be looked at for activities like school. If you're going to school and you're applying, but you're doing a competitive amount of school participation, that could get your case denied. Or if you're doing other things like work life, and like you're coaching a soccer team, all right, and you're applying for disability, and you're out there actively coaching the kids. Things like that will also be considered SGA. So to prove the jobs that you cannot do, it's not what you've done for work before. So let's say that you are a nurse, have been a nurse, and you are 45 years old and you're not able to do your nursing work anymore because you can't sit, you can't stand, whatever the situation is. But for the disability approval process, when you're under 50, you need to prove that you can't do some of these jobs up here, like a ticket taker at a movie theater, a hand picker, which is somebody that's on an assembly line, and down the assembly line comes a tray with 12 pencils in it and a box, and you need to pick the pencils up, put them in the box, put the lid on it, put it back on the conveyor belt, and down it goes. You need to prove that you can't do that job, even if that job isn't available, even if you don't want to do that job. That's what you need to prove when you're under 50. Or think about somebody who is sitting in a parking garage and they're just sitting in the booth there, or they have the ability to sit and stand and they're flexible. Could you do that type of work? So that's what you need to prove. Now, if you're over 50, there is the opportunity to prove that you cannot do the type of work that you've done before. If you're over 55, much more so, especially if you've been in the same type of work for more than 15 years. So if you're a nurse and you're 55 years old and you're not able to do the nursing work that you've done, then the premise of your disability case is that you're not able to be a nurse anymore. It's not the greeter at Walmart, hand packer, guy in the parking garage. So that's the strategy that you need to do that. Now, you also have to look at it and say, all right, well, maybe I can work sometimes, but I cannot work all the time. If you're going to be off task, like let's say 10 days a month, meaning that you're not able to work 10 days a month, would you be able to do your job? In my experience, this is where people struggle because they have good days and they're like, oh man, I could work today, right? But that's not every day. So that's the challenge with a lot of people, and they struggle with the process. So, so those are some tips on what you have to prove to get your Social Security disability benefits through the process. Remember the SGA, which is the allowed amount that you can earn. For the next steps, to learn other aspects of the approval process, if you are a member here and you're watching this as part of our disability approval process, just look below and you'll see the next lesson in the progress to help you out. If you are not a member here, and you're going through the disability approval process, we invite you to join us. There's no charge for a membership. We speak to you, go through an evaluation, assign you the courses, no charge, and we give you a strategy to help you go through and get your disability benefits approved fast. Now, if you're already approved and you've been listening to this, thank you, because this definitely applies to you, because once you're approved, you want to keep your benefits. And when your disability review comes up, all of these tips for proving that you are still not able to work are effective. I hope you find this helpful. Look for the links below. Make it a great day. It's been Brian Therrien. Thank you.